Welcome back to Mason's ADV. Ride along with us as we explore off the beaten path, head out for some adventure bike camping, and keep you updated on modifications and new gear for adventure riding. Be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any adventures. Glad to have you along for the ride. Okay, hey guys, Mason here, back again, and we're just kind of going over some of this stuff that people have been asking me questions about. Now, I do get quite a few questions about the gear that we use when we're camping, and so I'm going to go just start to finish on what I carry in my Reckless 80 revolver, how I pack it, and why that works for me. Everyone has their own way of doing things, so any differences, throw a comment down below. Let me know what you do different. This is just what I've found by camping off the bike for, we try to get out several times a summer, and we do at least 1 week trip every year. So this is the 5th one coming up here in about 3 weeks. So I'm packed for that. I'm doing a bit of a shakedown, and so while I go through my gear to see what I might be missing, I'm going to share that with you guys. All right, let's get into it. As I'm sure you know by now, I have upgraded from my Mosko Moto Reckless 80 to the new Reckless 80 revolver. This will be my first year running the revolver, and my previous Reckless 80, the one that I've rode with for the last 4 years, went to Melon 1. He has it now on the CRF 250L, and it fits perfectly. So I upgraded. The only reason I upgraded was because I really wanted to try out this new design. And for me, up here in the summer, it's nice to just be able to remove the beaver tail. It just unclips 4 clips, take my camping gear off, and I can run with my kitchen and clothes, or I can take my clothes out and just run my kitchen and have room for storage. It's like a pannier system without the top box. The beauty of it is that I don't need racks, and it moves with me to whatever motorcycle I have or want to put it on. So I'm not tied to the bike that I've spent all this money on my gear for. Like I said, the beaver tail on this one unclips, but that's not the only thing it does. The legs on the revolver are able to swivel and pivot, where on the older Reckless 80, they weren't able to do that. Now, I still didn't have a problem with it, and what I found was, after I set this up, I think this is very similar to the way I had my last Reckless 80 on the KLR as well. It seems to wear up with all the, or line up with all the wear marks that were there originally. So I think that part of it's very similar, but the ability to move those is going to be very handy for different bikes, different layouts, different places that you need to have things swung around. So this new one by Mosko Moto is actually a big improvement. Not that there's anything wrong with the old one, and I do have to say that after 4 years of fairly abusive riding, a little wash in the tub, and Melon thought he was getting a brand new Reckless 80. So that's about the luggage. Now let's get into what I carry and wear. Okay, so it comes with a beaver tail up top that holds typically a Stinger tail bag. I've taken that off. I actually run an SW Motec bag that I happen to have because it's a 40 liter and it allows me for a lot of expansion. But otherwise, it comes with the beaver tail and the bag. It comes with the side holsters and the side waterproof roll top bags. And then I have added the 4 liter pouches to the front. And I also bought with it these rear pouches that hold a waterproof bag. That's a major difference between the revolver and the old R80, is that these are now waterproof. The older R80 has a roll top bag here. It's not waterproof. It still worked great. You just put stuff in there where being waterproof isn't as important, or you can put it in a dry bag and in those pouches. But this is handy because the bag can be removed. 2 fuel bottles can slide in with a strap, and then this holds it all in there nice and tight, or you can use the bags. So I think this is a handy add-on, and I ordered it when I ordered my revolver. Now, the front pouches, what I carry is on this side, has my water bladder. The hose, as you can see, comes out the front, keeps the weight of my water fairly low, and it works really good. Great for filling a pot on the side of the trail. Easy to take out to fill. That's what I use that one for. This one has my fuel bottles in it. It's also a bit of a storage I use this for just putting anything in. There's a camera case. I've got my visor cleaner for the bike. There's a bear spray, a bug spray, a naphtha for my camp stove, and a spare fuel bottle. Now, on the big trips, I typically will just take 2 bottles of gasoline and use the gasoline on my camp stove, as well as if Melon needs a splash. But that doesn't seem to happen very often, if ever. So I've cut that down to just 1 fuel and 1 naphtha. So the naphtha just burns a little cleaner on the stove, although the stove is capable of burning both. All right, so the way I have this set up, this side is my kitchen and food bag. This side is my clothing bag. Over here on this side, I have a first aid kit and a air compressor. And on this side, it's sort of miscellaneous stuff. Some WD-40 wheel bearings, a spare air filter, and then on top is my entire camp setup. I've got my camp chair back here at the back, and in this bag is everything. The tent, the drop sheet, a tarp, a bike cover, sleeping bag, pillow, air mattress, and my tent poles. That's all in the top bag. The idea being, when I rock up to camp, I just clip off the R80, I grab my top bag, I set up my tent, then I get my food and my clothes, and I fire it in the tent. Works awesome if it's rainy or just generally wet. It keeps all my stuff in dry bags while it's being transferred. Everything's dry on the bike while I'm setting up the tent. And it works really well for me. So that's the way I have it organized on the bike. Open up the beaver tail. Camp chair is clipped to the back. I take my 45-liter dry bag, which it certainly isn't filled to its capacity. As you can see, it's got lots of headroom. I try to keep it packed minimally, but actually on the road we've had times where we had to pick up some groceries or needed a spot to stuff some garbage when we were leaving somewhere or picking up from other people. It can go in here or under the beaver tail and get disposed of afterwards. So having a little bit of headroom, having everything not packed out to the max is important to me. Okay, let's get into it. I have a Climate tarp. It's not very big, it's 10 by 10, it's fairly light. Got that off Amazon, and in the rain, when you've got 2 or 3 guys and you don't all want to be separated in your own tents huddling out an evening, the tarp is actually really important. This is my bike cover. It's by Nelson Rig. It's a quarter cover. It goes over the front of the bike, it goes under the front fender, and it comes across halfway, catches down to the bottom of my luggage, and keeps all my electronics and camera gear, if it's charging overnight, dry. But it's light and it's small. And last year, if you remember, I had a full cover on that I had used previously for about 3 years. Decided to give this a try. It's a really good rig. Next thing I have in this bag is just a very simple cable lock. I run it down underneath my top plate on the back and around my luggage, and it's just a deterrent. I mean, if someone wants to take your stuff, they're going to take your stuff, but if they can't undo the clips to get this roll top bag out of here, it actually makes it very difficult to get the side bags out because it spans them slightly. So just peace of mind when I have to leave it parked somewhere in the city. Then easy grab is my tent poles. This is my tent, fly, and ground sheet. It's an MSR Elixir 2. Great tent. It's a little, you can get lighter tents, but it's a trade-off between super lightweight, because this isn't too bad, and durability, where these things are a little bit like a sort of a mini bomb shelter. When you buy an MSR Elixir, I truly believe you have it pretty much for life. Very durable, nice compromise between weight and pack size. And then the last bag I have in here, other than my tent pegs at the very bottom, has my sleeping bag, my bed pad, my pillow, and everything that you need for sleeping system. And that's it. That's the top bag. Once I have my tent set up and my sleeping bag and everything set up inside, this becomes my doormat. I set this in front of the tent, gives me a spot to sit, take off my boots if I'm wet and I'm muddy and I don't want to get in the tent in my gear. Under the fly, I just set this out. Works really well, stays there till morning, and everything gets packed back into it. All right, we'll do the kitchen next. Very simple. Undo the top clip. There's 2 side clips. This rolls up and clips around and gives you a handle. Kitchen bag comes out of the bike, leaving the holster. There's a better shot of the revolver section of the R80, and you can line it up where you like it and bolt it down. Kitchen bag, also pretty standard. I have a GSI cup, which doubles as a measuring cup, which is handy for the boil in a bag meals. That is my stove and pot, which is also by GSI. I think it's a Pinnacle Soloist. Shooter has the Soloist 2, a little bit bigger, comes with a couple different cups. And actually, I will show you guys, but this is also where I store just a GSI cook pot, and inside it has a cup, pot, cup, and here I keep my coffee, tea for my daughter when she camps with me. Fire starter, lighter, salt and pepper. And that all rides right in there. Nice thing about GSI is they've really thought their stuff through. This is also a waterproof sealed bag. You can carry water, use it for washing up. Quite often it becomes our little kitchen sink if we get into something that's mucky. But 1,000 uses while you're out camping. If you need it, you have a mini pail. This is kind of bulky, but up here it's very important. It's just a no-name molly pouch, and in it I carry a Thermacell. If you guys haven't seen these or had the opportunity to try these in the bush, they can be a lifesaver. Takes a butane cartridge in the bottom, and there's a pad, you start it up and it heats this pad, and there's a pad that you put across there, and if it's calm and not really windy, it works wonders for keeping mosquitoes away. If it's windy, not as effective, but we've had some nights where it feels like you maybe wouldn't have survived without it. So that's the Thermacell, a bunch of refills, and the pads, sorry, a bunch of refills and the pads in there. And to me, it's worth the weight of the gear. Speaking of mosquitoes, should we fire it up? All right, here's how a Thermacell works. Just take a pad, try not to touch it. Just slide it in. Can you hear that hiss? And you look down in the hole, and can you guys see that glow? Anyway, shows it's glowing in there. That means it's running. We'll just set it right there and let it burn away while we're finishing this up. Okay, Thermacell, cartridges. Like I said, I'm packed for our trip, so I have extra coffee because I can't get it all in there. Last year on the trip, I ran out and was searching for a grocery store. Don't want that to happen again. Then I have my Whisper Light International stove. I'm sure everyone's seen these 1,000 times before, but they're just about indestructible. They have a shaker jet. So as you're bouncing along the trail, it's actually cleaning out the main orifice in the stove. This unclips and goes to your liquid fuel bottle. And this opens up and becomes the stand. Very simple. I know you guys have all seen it. However, I bought this in like 1994, and other than clean it up a little bit, I even carry a full rebuild kit that I've never even opened. yeah, it absolutely bulletproof. I know there's some fancier stuff, some smaller stuff, lighter stuff, on and on and on, out in the market. But hey, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So that comes with me everywhere. That's my cook set, and like I said, it will. The reason it's so sooted up is it will also run on gasoline, which is what we use it with. Long spoon for mixing the water into the dry bag food, a fork and a set of tongs. Mossy oak saw. Believe it or not, we have been in a situation where all the saws came out of the bike and we had to cut our way through a downed limb somewhere over by over near Ottawa. So that stays in the bag too. In this pouch I have a water purifier system, just in case you're somewhere and the water is very backcountry, even green or muddy. This at some point may save your life. It's the Sawyer Mini system, comes with a bag. It also will thread on to a typical water bottle. I have some camp suds, which is just biodegradable dish soap, a couple fire starters if things are really wet and crappy. I have some paper towels, a washcloth, and some big wipes. And that leaves me with my food for the week. It's a mixture of Alpine Air foods, Backpacker's Pantry, there's another one, Mountain House. I mean, they all do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 nights dinner right there. Super light, super small. Hey, and listen, everyone has their own opinion on this. If you guys do your adventure trips and you stop and you get groceries and you cook over a fire, that's awesome. We do that a couple times a week. But we've also found ourselves in spots where these things just fill the gap, and honestly, it's not too bad. One thing we do is we try to stop at a grocery store beginning of the week and buy a big pack of tortilla wraps, and no matter what it is in there, typically we split a bag between 2 guys and everyone gets 2 wraps, and hey, it works. It just stays in the bike. If we feel like we're gonna hit a restaurant or something, that's fine, although we typically don't. If we want to hit a grocery store and cook something, that's awesome too. But regardless, we've got, 5 days worth of meals, just sits in the bottom of the bag like that. Doesn't take up any space, and it's all good. So that goes in the bottom. This just sits down the side. Spoon goes down the other side, and then I'll throw in this extra bag of coffee, which typically isn't in there. Stove, Thermacell, which is out, so we'll leave that bag out. But cook pot and cup. And that's it. Squeeze the air out of it, roll it up. And a handy dandy see-through front on these bags, so in the tent you're not remembering what's what. Kitchen bag. Next thing on this side is my clothing bag. And this is everything that I take for a week. Again, you can see the strap at the bottom through the metal bar that goes down to the front that gives that the nice mounting point. What else can I show you in there? That's really about it. Clothing bag, I do use the packing cubes, something that my Mrs. Mason and I have always used for travel. Keep stuff organized so you're not rummaging to the bottom for certain items. Right off the hop, I have this crazy looking rig. This came in a gearbox about 6 years ago, and it's really fancy looking too. But the neat thing about it is it charges via USB, and it's one of the only ones that I've found that you can sit on a table at night and it throws light across the picnic table, but it's not blinding you. You can also hang it up and it gives a fair bit of light down. I know it's Mickey, but it's fantastic. I kept turning it on by accident in the bag, so I've taken a piece of ABS and glued it around the power button. Other than that, great rig, kind of hard to find. And then I have the kit that I was telling you guys about in the tank bag video. This is how I transfer my memory cards from the memory cards onto a portable SSD drive. That will be another video, but it rides in on top of my clothing because I don't need to get to this until I'm at the campground. Headlamp right at the top so you can get it quickly. That's a Petzl. It's rechargeable. I can charge it off the bike on the fly. It also has red light, which is really nice at night around the campfire, not blinding everyone. And it will do a flashing light thing too if you need it on the side of the highway. I mean, headlamps, that's a personal thing. Everyone has their own brand, or even the ones from Amazon at like 10 bucks a piece are excellent. This is my sweater. It's a Climb merino wool. It's just a quarter zip sweater. That's all I have for warm gear. That, and I put this under my jacket, and then I also have a Gore-Tex shell that I wear over my vented jacket. So between the shell, the jacket, and this, I have found that I can survive just about any night around the campfire. Then of course you got the toiletry bag, typical. Deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, and soap. This is just another roll top dry bag that I use for my dirty clothes, or if I've washed something while I'm in the shower at a campground and need to carry it back to the bike, I just throw it in that. This is my towel, very typical camping towel. Oh, and I should mention too, when we get to the campsite, if I'm going to grab a shower, I just take this whole bag. When it's rolled up and clipped, it's got everything in it that I need, and off I go. I come back and then I get everything sorted out. It's really handy when this is just your clothes and your stuff's not mixed between different bags. If you need the kitchen, there's the kitchen. If you need your clothes, there's your clothes. And then I have two packing cubes. This one's shirts and pants. This is socks, underwear, and the Under Armour gear that I wear, this quick dry stuff that we wear in the heat to stop your arms and legs from sticking to your clothes, but it still breathes, wicks moisture, spare socks, and that's it. So that right there is the week's worth of stuff, and I typically at night in the shower, I will wash the shirt that I was wearing, and I'll wash the underwear and socks I was wearing, and then I just hang them on the bike at night, throw on a spare set out of this. They're typically dry in the morning, and cycle them just like that. So in theory, with what I have here, other than stopping to refill my food from time to time, you could pretty much be gone indefinitely, whether it's anywhere from a weekend to a month. Yeah, other than washing some clothes, everything else is chargeable off the bike, and that's it. So 2 bags of clothes, towel, spare bag for either dirty laundry or wet stuff, toiletries, sweater on the top so you can get to it easy if it gets cold during your ride, headlamp, table light if you want, and my USB micro SD card dumping station. And that's it for the clothes. Also lots of headroom in these bags as well. So if you need to stuff something in there or you pick something up on the trip, lots of room. And that right there is the kit. So a little bit of just practical use over the years has really decided how this stuff all goes together. Like I said before, having a separate bag for kitchen, clothes, and camp set makes it easy. You get somewhere it's raining, top bag comes off, you set up your tent, You throw in your sleeping bag, you pull the cover over the bike, and you're good. Need food? There it is. Stop on the side of the trail, want to boil a coffee? There it is. The camp stove. Fuel is in that front 4-liter pouch. Stove's in there with your coffee. Water's on the other side of the bike. Everything's just easy to get to. And it's been a sort of accumulation over the years too. I started with cheaper stuff that was a bit more bulky, and as time goes on, you know, my sleeping bag's improved this year, and I got a new chair too, which is considerably lighter. But I mean, that's all new this year. Even last year I was just running some much less or even inexpensive stuff straight from Amazon. It's all in the links below, guys. I hope that helps someone out. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Throw a comment down below. Let me know what you take. Like, are you a super minimalist where this much stuff on a bike is ridiculous? Or are you like bring everything but the kitchen sink, which is awesome too. It depends on your riding style, where you ride, how long you're gone for. It just, you know, it's whatever works for you. But anyway, throw a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Mind how you go. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now. Hey guys, if you liked that video, hit the thumbs up button for us. It goes a long way towards helping out the channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button in the upper corner for new videos every Sunday. Be glad to have you along for the ride.